Woo! Hey, welcome everybody to Path of the Brush. I'm your host Rick. We are coming to you live from the Hoplite Games game store here in Lansing, Michigan, and we're really happy to be here on Gen Con TV with some really awesome people today. Let's bring forward everybody. Let's bring you all forward. All right. Hey, so we've got Mark and
Hey,
Will, who you guys see all the time, but our special guest is Taylor from Creature Caster today. Hey, Taylor, welcome.
What's up, Taylor?
hey, thanks for having me, guys. I really appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. It was fun chatting and getting to know you at Gen Con this year, and we're ready to paint some miniatures. Kind of interesting. The miniature that we have today is a upscaled goblin, who I am absolutely going to say is a mutated goblin. Uh, when it's all said and done, that's going to just wreak havoc on the kids that are part of our kids program here. This is going to be a long-standing nemesis to them.
That's awesome.
Nothing like
Yeah,
a goblin with a name. They're the worst.
right? Yeah, and so we'll have to come up with a name. So anybody watching in the chat and put down some cool names for this beast of a goblin. Here, if we can get a shot of the
Yeah,
overhead.
let's pull up the
Yeah,
overheads here, and
yeah. So he's got
everyone's so
this.
excited to throw theirs up.
Yeah, so we've got this cool sword that he's kind of launching himself off of. It looks like he's getting ready to fly and do like a flying sidekick. So I'm thinking he's going to be like have some levels of monk and barbarian in him. So it should be a really cool nemesis to throw at the kids here. But Taylor, can you tell us a little bit about the model?
Well, so this is one of my favorite models we have. He's part of our World of Reclamation campaign. It's a monthly campaign that we do with fifth edition Dungeons and Dragons adventures. It's available on Tribes, and Peter and I were talking, and we're both really big fans of goblins, and
Okay.
we decided to do something a little different with these guys. This is the Actually, if you pull up one of the graphics we have, there's a group of goblins, and there's one of the little goblins. He's got this giant sword on his back right here, and in the adventure, have a big skirmish against the goblin, or they have a big skirmish against the goblins at first. The leader gets away, and then he comes back later, all jacked up on mushrooms and swinging this giant sword of his.
Oh, so he's jacked up on power ups.
That's it, and he's ready to kick some butt.
All right. Okay.
That's great.
So tell us a little bit about Creature Caster and um, how long have you guys been around?
Um, so that's a great question. With a bit of a weird history to it. Creature Caster was originally came from another company, and I'm trying to remember the name, like Ultra Forge Miniatures.
Okay.
And there was a gentleman named Jeremy Glenn who owned the company, and he started the project of building Creature Caster into the studio that it is today. Jeremy left the company after a Kickstarter he had done, and it got purchased by Peter Adams and Simon Sung, who have been in charge of the business now for, I believe, 9 years. I want to
Wow.
say
Okay.
they completed Jeremy's Kickstarter, and then they started building the company that it is. And
Nice.
I've been with the company for, I want to say, almost 3 years now.
Okay.
I came actually from a very different industry. I was doing business development in the mining industry for 17 years, and
Mining.
yep, I did a major business. I made a major decision and left the industry and decided to do this instead.
Huh.
Yep.
Yeah, that opens up a whole book of questions, but that might be something where we talk about that at a future convention and sit
Yeah.
around a table and be like, "What?
The
You went
transition
from
was definitely there. This was supposed to be somewhat of a retirement job where I thought I could,
okay,
just do it, enjoy myself, and you know, do what I wanted to do. And it turns out I'm actually far more busy than I ever was.
I know, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Crazy,
this is a hectic industry, that's for sure. So,
absolutely." So you come from the mining business into
yep.
hobby, and
Mhm.
what about hobby was it that was the attractor to you? It couldn't have been the money.
No, it certainly wasn't. There was a lot of conversations between my wife and I on
Okay.
how this was going to go down.
Okay.
But basically, what happened was we. Okay, how do I put this? So uh, I've been into gaming for my entire life. Ever since I was
Okay.
a kid, I was doing Dungeons and Dragons and all sorts of other, stuff, other games along those lines. When I was around 12, I found Warhammer, Warhammer Fantasy. Was a big love of mine, and I played that game for. Aside from taking a brief break between like 2017 and 2001, I played it
Okay.
for about 20, maybe 30 years.
Wow. Okay.
Until eighth edition. Yeah, until eighth edition came along, and that kind of got out of the game and moved into other
Mhm.
games. But
Okay.
I went to university for writing. I've always been a
Mhm.
writer, doing a lot of writing
Okay.
stuff, and I transitioned into the game industry by slowly getting involved with various companies doing writing projects for them. And
Okay.
I got a job with Corvus Belli, who does
Okay.
Infinity, and I was
Yeah.
their North American marketing editor. So I was editing all of their marketing materials.
Okay.
And from there, it just sort of word gets around real fast in this industry, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I started getting more and more job offers in the game industry. And yeah, eventually I
All right.
took one.
All right.
Eventually I just took a full time gig.
All right. I can dig that. That's pretty awesome. Uh,
Thanks.
for those of you that are watching and listening, we got some people in the chat already. It looks like Dig Batty is
Oh boy.
just here to troll you, so
That's
that's
good.
great. Um,
Browntown
so
Games is saying that you're looking more beautiful than ever, like fine
Thank you,
wine.
Manu. Thank you. You
nice,
are a scholar and a gentleman.
nice. So I'm hearing an accent. It's not unsimilar from my accent or Mark and Will's, as we are from Michigan. And
Hmm.
we have a little bit of an accent that sometimes people might mistake us for, where you're from, but not as bad, I guess. So
Okay
where
there,
are
bud.
you from, Taylor? Oh,
I'm
there it is.
I'm actually in Letterkenny country, Sudbury, Ontario. So I am roughly 5 hours north of Toronto.
Okay, and
So it's
so it is literally that's how they talk.
yep, that's how we
How
talk.
and when you get excitable, you go straight Letterkenny on people, yeah.
Well, there's this this gentleman. I was just at ReaperCon, and there's a guy there named
Mhm.
JT, and
Yeah.
I've met him at several gaming conventions.
Okay.
Um, and he's from northern British Columbia, and we were
Okay.
having a lot of fun. He came up to the booth and he goes, "Hey, bud, you want to crush a dart?" And I went, "Yep." We both just left the booth, and poor Ryan, he's the guy who creates Cuttlefish Colors, but he also manages our
Okay.
warehouse, and he was just like, "Oh, fella, what just happened there?"
Oh
Because he had
God,
no idea what we were saying.
that is awesome.
It can get pretty thick especially when you're around other people.
Yeah,
You know
for
how it
sure.
is. You
Yeah,
get
of
talking,
course.
and yeah.
Well, it's weird is uh, on our shows sometimes we talk about something that I find that I'm very passionate about, but pre-show you broke my heart in regards to your interest in the thing that I am very, very passionate about,
I'm
and
really
that's
sorry about this.
it's okay. You don't have to apologize. You don't have to go full Canadian niceness on this. Um, but I love maple syrup, and not just maple syrup, but all iterations of the nectar of the gods that is maple syrup. Right. So
It it's big business up here.
yeah.
Actually, I went fishing I think it was last year with a guy, and
Mhm.
he actually owns a maple syrup farm,
Oh
and
no.
he was telling me how many millions upon millions of dollars he made the previous year on selling maple syrup, or as you call it, the nectar of the gods. It
It's
is a
absolutely
huge business here.
I just saw Rick's gear start turning on wondering how we can get up there. Like,
Well,
I got to visit. There's a farm.
all
oh
right.
yeah, no, they farm it for sure. It's there's a lot of money in that. There's a
Yeah.
lot of money in that.
Do the
Um,
trees roam free? Do
well,
they have to be
on the
fenced
Are
off?
they free range trees?
free range trees, yeah, they just don't waddle around, and yeah. We keep them holstered up.
That's
But
right.
the actually, if you look it up, there was a maple syrup heist And I think, yeah, if you look it up, it was in Quebec, I believe. And it was we're talking like the details on that are pretty incredible. It was, I think, a few $1,000,000. Like I know it was more than that.
What?
It's huge. You got to look it up. It's
Okay,
Maple
yeah.
Syrup Heist Canada, and I can't.
I'm on it right now.
There you go. You can tell me how much money they stole in maple
The
syrup.
sugar heist. That is wild.
Over several months in 2011, 2012, nearly 3,000 tons of
Yeah,
maple syrup
it's a lot.
valued at 18.7 million.
Oh
There we
my
go.
God. Do you know how much of a storage unit I would need to hold all that?
Well, yeah.
Not much, because I'd eat it.
What was that show my wife was watching? Sweet Tooth, and have you ever seen the show Sweet Tooth? And
Yeah.
they drink it, and I was literally like gagging while they were drinking. I'm like, are they drinking maple syrup? And I started gagging because
Oh my
Well, do you
not
love
a
it that
drink.
much?
So good. So I here on Gen Con TV, there's another program called Sarah's Table.
Okay.
And she does a lot of stuff with like indie RPGs, small
Yeah.
press stuff. And one of them was a game called The Excellence, which is made by Ninth Level Games. And it was a you basically take on the role of like a Adventure Time princess.
Okay.
And it's super fun. The cartoony art, it's very Adventure Time. But I made the maple syrup princess, and I had all these different bottles and we did a live play, and I had all these bottles of maple syrup on in front of me on the table, and I would describe myself as literally having like a bandolier, like a Chewy's bandolier, just filled with different maple syrups that did
don't
different
do it.
things. It was
Oh,
so
no.
good, and one of
No,
them was
I
like, it was amazing. And one of the maple
God.
syrups was jalapeno infused. So when I drink that, my character could breathe fire. You know, it was so fun.
I think that's actually, yeah. So I think maybe jalapeno infused maple syrup might be okay. I've never tried it,
Okay.
but that actually sounds all right. It sounds like a good. That sounds like a good combination.
Yeah, it has a really sharp aftertaste.
That did make me wonder, like, what would a maple syrup genie or a maple syrup elemental look like?
Yeah.
Talking to one of the creature caster guys.
I mean,
Right?
we do have the Canuck Mara miniature, which is that's our Canadian Chimera. It's part moose,
nice.
part beaver, part goose. All of the most horrifying creatures you'll ever find and most people. I was shocked actually when I was in Texas. Nobody there had seen a moose that spoke to, and they didn't realize how big moose were. Most of them think they're like big deer, right? But they're actually small elephants.
They're monsters.
They are really, really big. And yeah, there was a whole conversation. I was showing some kid, and I was showing her pictures of me with this baby moose. I used to have a client that he had a wildlife preserve, and he had a baby moose named Snooze. And Snooze the moose was one of the attractions of his wildlife preserve.
That's amazing.
And he was hilarious. He was this French guy, like this old French guy. He goes, "Hello, my name is Richard Lafleur, and I own this the Cedar Meadows Resort."
Meet Snooze.
Perfect.
I can't repeat anything he said because we talked about the language on this show. But let me tell you, that guy had a mouth on him.
Yeah, of course.
I think I used the French swears though. He was like, "Tabernacle, you'd not believe the tabernacle goose that broke my arm," and he'd go on about his arm and show me show me his X-rays. True story. Canadian
you
goose
can't even
broke his
make
arm.
this up. You tried. That's the best.
No, true. A Canada goose broke his arm. It was on his property. He chased it off, and it mauled him.
Oh man, yeah, they wrap their like neck around, right? And they're like,
Yeah.
Oh, they have. So actually, believe it or not, they have
Cobra
thumbs
chickens.
on the ends of their wings, right?
Oh, okay.
And they will use their wings, and what they do is they try to pull your arms away so they can peck your face, right? And I guess it got his forearm and his bicep, and broke his arm by forcing his arm down really fast, and he didn't have resistance on it. Yeah. Real fit.
Yeah.
They're real menaces, man.
Yeah.
When they start hissing, get away. You know.
Yeah, those guys, they're Cobra chickens.
Well, you have them on their best behavior. They're on vacation. When they're at home, they're not nearly as nice.
Wow.
Never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not great.
And if anybody out
Great
there
at
is
all.
wondering how to tell the difference between a Canadian accent and a Michigan accent, people from Michigan can't do French like people from
Ah,
Yes.
that French
That's
accent
true.
is impeccable. We got nothing on that.
Yeah, that's true.
No exposure.
yeah.
That is
The
true.
my daughter goes to French school, so I'm learning French
Mm.
alongside
Oh,
her.
nice.
So
Nice.
it's a thing.
So, if you were to say your French as how old do you think you would be? Like, as an example. As an example, so my
Yeah.
ex-wife is from Sweden
Okay.
and would teach my kids Swedish. And when we got divorced, I was kind of like when I stopped learning myself. So I speak
Mhm.
Swedish at about like a like a toddler, a 5 or
Okay.
6-year-old maybe, and I get told by other Swedes or by Swedes that I sound like a child, like a wee little baby child when I speak Swedish, and they think it's hilarious. So
If you could stop throwing lettuce around when you're speaking Swedish too, you know.
that's true. I only speak it when I cook.
Yeah, throwing spoons.
just like a Muppet.
Yeah, just like I'm up at Oddly.
My French level, I would say, so it's kind of interesting because I can read French really well. Like if you give me a
Okay.
French document, I can read it no problem.
Okay.
If somebody's speaking to me slow, I would have like a conversation level of French.
Okay.
But my ability to speak it isn't so great.
Okay.
Right. So I mean,
Int-
but I can read it really well. So if you gave me like a French document to read,
Mhm.
I could read it with an impeccable accent. You wouldn't know that I didn't have an idea of what I was saying. Right. But but to just come up with it on the spot is not great. I have to think
Okay.
about it quite a lot of what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But somehow, but I mean, so when I say that though, I mean, we're always more critical of ourselves. I think when we're always a little more critical of ourselves in that situation. Like I'm pretty sure my French is actually pretty adequate for
Right.
most Canadians. Right.
Okay. Yeah, I was about to say most Canadians. The
Yeah.
French would be like,
Oh,
"Ugh."
yeah, the French. Yeah, well, actually, that happened at ReaperCon where some guy came over and he went over to Ryan and he starts speaking to Ryan in French, and Ryan does not know a lick of French. And he goes,
Okay.
yeah, he called me over because he goes, Taylor, we got a Frenchie here. So he brought me over, and the guy just starts going off in French, and I'm like, je ne comprends pas français, mon ami. And I'm like, and he's like, and he goes, Québécois, and I'm like, oh no. no. And he goes, and I can't remember. He goes, j'ai parisien, parisien. And I went, oh, you're from France, or France, like France French. I'm like, I don't understand you at all. And so luckily my friend Vanessa was walking by and she's from Montreal. And I was like, Vanessa, come here. And she came over and then sold him the miniatures that he wanted because
Okay.
I had no idea what he was saying. Because there's a big
That's
difference between
amazing.
France French and Quebec French.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I can only imagine a French being like, ew.
Yeah. pretty much their reaction to Quebec to Quebecois. Sorry if there's a Quebecois in the audience right now, but yeah.
That's awesome.
But if it makes them feel better, they still like the Quebecois more than they like me. So
All right. So Creature Caster, you said it's been around what, about 9-10 years now?
9 or 10 years, yeah, something
Okay.
like that.
In that time, and you said you've only been there about 3 years. So let's
Yeah.
go in the 3 years that you've been there. What is a model that when you first saw it before you really got knee deep into it, that you were just like, holy crap, we make this kind of stuff?
So
Right.
Okay, so I have owned some Creature Caster models before. Actually, how I met Peter
Okay.
was there's an amazing model called the Mountain Dragon that we used to
Okay.
sell. It's discontinued,
Mhm.
and I really wanted to get that model, and I found it was discontinued. And knowing what I know of the gaming industry, because everyone thinks, messaging a game company, you're probably just going to get a receptionist or some sort of like someone who doesn't really want to talk to you or whatever.
Right.
That's not true at all. Like everyone in the gaming industry is answering the phones, right? Like
Right.
if you call somebody, they will answer it and they'll be more than happy to help you. you know, with maybe some of the exceptions like Wizards of the Coast, Games Workshop, that sort of stuff. If you call them anyway.
Dang.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to knock them down or anything, but I mean they have people that answer those calls, right?
Right.
Of course.
When you talk about
right?
when you talk about when you're dealing with smaller companies in the game industry, you're pretty much getting like someone who will do anything to sell you a model, right?
Yeah, of course. Yes,
So,
of course.
and so I messaged CreatureCaster, and the person who answered the call was the CEO.
Oh,
And
wow.
and I said, I want a mountain dragon. And he was like, oh, I don't think we can do that. And I said, well, maybe you can. And he goes, maybe I can. So we went and looked, and he found one in the he found one, and he sent it to me. And well, I said, okay, well, if you find that, I'm going to buy a possessed dragon from you. So I bought the possessed dragon, which is another dragon we have that no longer exists. And we just started talking back and forth and realized we could be friends.
Nice.
And became friends. And then we were chatting, and it felt like he was doing a job interview. I've been in enough of those to know what those feel like. And then a year later, he asked me if I wanted a job, and I said, sure, how much? And he told me, and I said, oh, no, I can't do that. Right? I went and talked to my wife, and she said, well, she goes, she goes, are you going to be happy? And I said, well, yeah, I'll probably be happier than what I'm doing, because I was pretty miserable at that point. So at that point, I was out of the mining industry. I was actually a regional director for a security company up here in Northern Ontario. And I'm not sure if you've ever worked in the security industry, but
maybe a little bit.
Yeah, it is a industry and a half. Let's just say that. It's not for the faint of heart. And so I was pretty done with that industry, and my wife was pretty done with me being in that industry, and asked me if I would. So told me to go ahead. She got a big promotion at her job as the head of pedagogy at the daycare at the university. So I went ahead. So anyway, but back. I know it's a little off track. So back to the story about the model. So anyway, I do have quite a few CreatureCaster models. I mean, they're a Canadian company, and I like to support Canadian companies. So I was happy to spend money on these models. And then when I first started, they sent me a bunch of models to have as a sort of like a storage at my house, just in case I needed them. And one of those models was the Queen of Malefica. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that model.
No, but it sounds amazing.
Cool model.
It is absolutely phenomenal. It is one of the best models we produce. And anyway, so Simon was like, yeah, just go get a feel for our models. Go grab one of the models that we sent you and put together and get a feel for it. And I said, sure, no problem. And I opened up the box for the Queen of Malefica and saw that it was about 120 pieces. Ooh. And I closed that box and said, absolutely not. And I put together a void elemental instead.
Okay. So,
but yeah, the Queen Malefica is just an amazing model.
Yeah, it's a beautiful one. I actually, the models that got me the first time I saw you guys was these pack. It was a pack of like adventure hunters or whatever. One guy has like 3 dogs, and another one has like a cannon thing, and but they all wear the tricorner French hats.
Yeah, the hunters. That's a part of our Novak Dawn range.
Yeah, those were so cool, and they remind me of the movie Brotherhood of the Wolf.
Yes, I saw that in theaters in French at a film festival.
What?
Yeah, that was what year was that? That would have been 2007. I want to say maybe 2005.
I think 2005 is where I think it
I went and saw it in theaters by myself. I wanted to see it so bad.
It's such a good movie.
It's a great movie. It was great, but because I'm not sure. Did you see it in English or did you see it in French with subtitles?
Yeah, I saw it in English the first time I saw it.
It was I remember so we have a film festival called the Northern Lights Film Festival up here.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, and it happens once a year, and we get all these indie films from Canada that come through, and they like basically close off the theater for a week, and they have all these indie films, and that was actually one of them. It was
that's awesome.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie until you mentioned it.
Mark, Will, have either of you ever seen it?
I have not yet.
I strongly recommend it. It's very good, very good film.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the actress that is the I don't want to even give it away. She's in the movie. She's beautiful, brunette. She works at the brothel, and gets attached to the main detective. But it's a retelling of the story that where the werewolf mythology comes from,
Oh, cool.
right? So
Okay.
Yeah, it's a pretty rad movie.
Yeah.
It's really good. Really good.
yeah.
Dorkosaurus says that the Indie Movie Festival is like next week.
Is it really?
Oh snap!
And
That's
Dorkosaurus says,
that's-
"Whoa, hang on, hey." Wow.
that's my friend Annie. She actually lives in Coppercliff, just 15
Nice.
minutes away from here.
Nice.
I never saw this movie. I remember when it came out though, but now I have to
Yeah.
watch it because it looks amazing. And you know,
Oh, it's got Monica Bellucci in it.
That's who it
Her.
is, Monica Bellucci.
Yeah. Woo.
Yes, I remember.
Mm,
Yeah.
mm.
They
One of the most beautiful women right there.
they actually film quite a few movies out here in Sudbury. We've
Oh, I bet.
really
yeah, there's a lot. Well, because we offer tax credits for people.
great.
So typically films are shot in Toronto or
Oh.
Vancouver, but we offer
Yeah.
a really competitive tax package to being up here.
Nice.
So it's kind of funny because I live in it's a relatively small town. It's 200,000 people here, roughly 150, 250 or 200,000 people.
Okay.
And yeah, there's always usually there's always films going on, famous actors in the area. It's
Mhm.
it's a little weird. Sometimes when I used to work, because I worked when I worked for Northern Ontario Business, which is the agency in the mining industry I used to work for.
Mhm.
You'd just be you'd be walking downtown, and I think there was once what was her name? Who played Jean Grey in the X-Men?
The
What was her
original
name?
X-Men.
Yeah, the 1990s, the late 1990s, early
Hugh
2000s.
Jackman.
I will tell you in a moment.
That
Go,
was
go, Google.
I almost want to say Haggerty, but it's not
No.
her.
Famke
No.
Jensen.
yes, and one time I was having a rant. I think it was I can't remember what it was about. Oh, it was the Avengers movie, the first Avengers movie, and I was having a good rant with my friend Jim, who's a big comic book fan, and I don't really know comic books, so I didn't really
Okay.
understand like what the different things were, and I was going on, and I wasn't a huge fan of the first Avengers movie, I'll be honest with you,
Okay.
and I just felt it didn't make a lot of sense. Well, the city's being destroyed, and I was like, and I said, where the heck were the X-Men? And I shouted it at Jim because it was loud and we're walking, and because there's lots of cars and stuff, and I shouted at Jim, and this woman who was having lunch at this place called the Fromagerie jumped and looked at me, and she looked familiar, so I smiled and just kept on walking. And then we got back to the office, and all of a sudden Jim just goes, I think that was Yamke or Famke Janssen that you startled at the Fromagerie. And I'm like, no. And I found out, yeah, she was in town shooting a film. And
That's amazing.
That's,
And she probably had a good answer. She's like, "We were busy."
wait, come back.
we
I'm
weren't
right
under
here.
contract.
Right there we go. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah, I had
cool.
no idea who she was, which I think a lot of actors kind of like that too, that they're a little more anonymous in a small town like this because nobody expects
Yeah.
to see them. So,
Yeah. The so the models that you have since bared witness to working there, what would you say is a fan favorite?
a fan favorite?
Yeah.
So I mean the Queen of Ecstasy is our number one seller. Straight up, like no competition. That model
Okay.
that model sells out every time. We might actually on the DL. I don't know how many people are in this chat right now. Mark?
Well, we have 18 active viewers, and the numbers are going up and down as they do. You
Yeah,
know.
sure. So 18 is fine. We might be actually having a thing coming up with the Queen of Ecstasy, where we're doing her
Ooh.
in a new material. So it'll
Ooh.
be a pre-order thing.
Okay.
But basically you'll be able to pre-order her in the new material. And I think the turnaround for that is I think 3 months. So we'd be doing some sort of campaign where you pre-order the model, and then we'll have it to you in 3 months after you pre-order
nice.
it, and you get it in the brand new. And this new material is just phenomenal, just phenomenal.
Okay.
Actually, if you're I don't know if you can bring up screens or not, but if you go to on our website and go to Judgment Heroes,
Okay.
You got it, Will?
Yeah, I can get it.
and look at Laura Bella. So Laura Bella is the dwarf with the grenade launcher.
Oh.
So if you check out she's actually in the new material. So I mean, if we're producing new models in this material, especially in the Judgment line, and it is the new material is just absolutely phenomenal. It's a resin, but it's
screenshot of that.
yeah. So if you get the screenshot of her like in the resin model, not the colored one, and then if you get the pieces, there's the like different pieces of there. You can see how clean and easy it is to put together. It's shockingly good.
It just takes me a second to get that moved over there.
Yeah, no worries.
So we can see it.
Nice. I'm like bated breath here.
Oh, you wait.
I was pretty excited when I was putting this this goblin together. This resin is pretty high quality. I was impressed.
That's all. So this is actually 3D printed by Cody. He owns a Full Moon Labyrinth, and he is phenomenal at 3D printing models. You can't even tell it's a 3D printed model a lot of the time. It just looks so clean.
Yeah, definitely clean.
All right.
I almost got them both. We'll just take a second.
Sure, no problem.
So up in Canada, you guys have some different like cartoons that you kind of grow up with, right?
You betcha.
So what would have been a cartoon that you watched as a kid that maybe we here in the States didn't get subjected to?
There's a show called The Raccoons.
The Raccoons. Okay.
And I am sure that is a Canadian publication or a Canadian production that I am sure you guys didn't get.
Okay.
We actually had a thing called YTV up here. It's youth TV.
Okay.
And there used to be a whole bunch of, because we have in Canada, we have something called the CRTC, which means that I believe it's, and I don't know how up to date this information is. You have to remember it's been a long time since I've worked in that industry.
Yeah.
But I think 20% of your of content shown on cable had to be Canadian content.
Oh, okay.
So we got things like the Raccoons. Are you guys familiar with Polka Dot Door?
No. What is that?
That's a Canadian children's production.
Would this one on CBC?
Yeah, it would have been on CBC. Yeah,
we did get it.
You get CBC. Okay, so yeah, you could have watched it then.
Yeah, if you're northern enough Michigan, right, or like Detroit eastbound,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense. You guys probably have access to CBC. What else would have been on there? Mr. Dress Up was a thing in the States, right? Or was he not?
I mean, no, that was called Queer Eye for the Straight Guy or something like that.
I think Mr. Dress Up might have been Canadian. I think it might have been a Canadian phenomenon.
Okay.
He was just an old dude who had a puppet named Casey and a dog named
on Prime now. The Magic of Make Believe.
Yeah,
Nice.
he's pretty so I think he was a Canadian icon.
67 to 96.
Yeah, I remember I watched him a lot. I saw him live when I was a kid. We went to he used to tour, man.
Wow. Okay.
Casey and Finnegan. Finnegan was the dog.
Nice.
Yeah, that was that's a thing.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Did you guys have? I just have to ask this: did you guys have this one character, very very popular character that in 1994, a runaway planet from out of space collided between the Earth and Moon, and it unleashed cosmic destruction. But 2,000 years later, after Earth was reborn, a guy broke away from, broke his bonds of slavery to basically fight for justice. He had a sun sword, a companion called Ukla, and Ariel.
Was it Buck Rogers?
No.
Oh, I got excited there for a second.
It's Thundar, the Barbarian.
Thundar.
Stop this, guys. What happened? He's back.
That kind of looks familiar. I think you might be a little old. I think that was a little like. Is that Hanna-Barbera? Was that a Hanna-Barbera publication production?
We'll say yes at this point.
They did throw it back on like Cartoon Network and a few other things, but
I do got that dwarf up now. So here she is.
That's the new material. That is not a render. That is actual. That is the material comes in.
And here are the pieces.
All right.
Look how easy that goes together. Look at the keys on there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so essentially, if we did the Queen of Ecstasy like that, right now I think it comes in like 30 something pieces. It would probably
Okay.
come in like maybe 15 pieces,
Oh, nice.
right? And it would key
Wow.
together really nice and tight. It'd be really phenomenal to see.
Is this a proprietary material that you
Yes.
guys are using? Okay.
Yes, I can't really get into
Yep.
details outside of the fact that it's outsourced, but it's
Okay.
it is amazing material.
Okay.
All of our judgment models going forward have been in this new material. I don't know if anyone in the chat's
Nice.
actually anyone in the chat's actually used the material before,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't heard one complaint about it.
Nice.
Not one. We
All
actually have
right.
a demon. So this is our first. Where is he? Do I have him here? Oh, maybe I don't have him handy. I thought I did. No, sorry, I lied. Maybe he's up here. Nope. I'm not gonna make a mess. Oh, he's way back there. Should I get him?
Babar.
Yeah, I'll get him.
Yeah,
I'll get him.
come
1
up.
second here.
Yeah,
I'll get him.
come up.
1 moment here. I'm gonna show you just because he is the one of our tyranny demons.
Mm.
Let's see here.
I'm wondering if the proprietary stuff involves some kind of partnership with a maple farm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's maple. It's made from maple resin.
I'll put in this one here. So this is actually the Lord of Oppression. I'm trying to get
Okay.
a good shot on him here. Where's the camera? There he is up there. This is the Lord of Oppression.
I'll solo that for you.
There
Oh,
we
he's a
go.
freaky guy.
Let's see, is it gonna
Oh,
zoom
wow.
in for me?
Looks like he's
Like-
got a bio machine gun thing going on too.
Yeah, he's kind of like a demon prince. Like same size. Like you can see the size of the goblin next to
Mhm.
him. So he's pretty
Yeah.
big. But he is the material is so crisp, and he comes in like 9 pieces, I think.
Nice.
I mean, I'm not sure if you can see the camera's not really doing it justice, but you can see like there is like runes carved into this, like the.
Oh yeah,
blade
yeah,
here.
you can see him.
Oh yeah, we
all
can
the-
see it.
Oh yeah, it is.
Mhm.
It is pretty spectacular.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah, this model is like I'm actually surprised because this model has not really moved as fast as I thought it would. It came out at Adepticon last year.
Okay.
He's this is a rad looking model. I guess
Yeah.
I haven't gotten around to painting it yet. It's just undercoat has an undercoat on it, but I mean he's pretty solid for a demon prince.
No, he looks amazing.
Yeah, that guy looks great.
Yeah, it's great.
I think that
Yeah,
one of the things that will be good on that model is some bead paint because it has all those. It has so much like detail
Yeah.
and surface. You know.
Well, that's what I'm using actually for this goblin here. Is I'm doing just a speed paint layer. The reason I do a speed paint layer before anything is because I like to see where the colors are. We actually have we have our own paint line called So we have a paint line that we're exclusively partnered with called Cuttlefish Colors,
Okay.
and this is the our Cuttlefish Colors has a base, a sketch, and a glaze, right? The base are super opaque, and I will show you later on how opaque those are when I apply them to the model. And when I say they're opaque, I've been painting for a long time. I have never seen an opaque paint before using these paints. Like it's insane.
Okay.
This is Gnarly Vibe. I shall show you. I'll give a quick demo here.
That's
while I'm
a
talking
cool
about it.
name.
Well, the cool thing is actually all of our paints are named by fans of our paints.
Oh, nice.
So what we do is we approach people and say, hey, do you want to name our paint? And different fans, they paint, and each paint has a story to it. So,
Nice.
so here's just to give you an idea. So this is actually I'm going to show you something real neat here. Does it have it? This is Nico Pink. And Nico Pink is actually a I'll move this here. This is actually a fluorescent paint.
Oh wow.
So you know how bad fluorescent paints typically are?
They do go on differently.
Yeah, they kind of suck. I mean, I think we can all agree they're not great.
They separate really bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So this here, I'm going to show you now. This has never been opened, so I'm just going to open up the paint here. And
That's interesting.
Ryan,
It's got the little seal on it like that.
yeah, it just keeps the paint in, so keeps it looking pretty. Because afterwards, once I remove the seal and shake it, you're going to see that it comes up to the top here, right?
Gotcha.
Which is great. I mean, this way, if you have the paint, you can see what color it is before so if you store your paints in a rack or whatever, you can put them this way and you'll see the paint around the edge, right?
Nice. Yeah.
But anyway, so we go here and pop this on here. So we'll do 2 drops. And I'm going to use a not so great brush to do this. You can see how opaque this paint is. And it's not really showing up with the camera very well. Let's do, the pink is not showing up. So let's try another color here. Let's do, so let's say phosphofusion yellow, because yellow is probably the worst one to work with, like the worst fluorescent to work with.
Yeah.
We've all used.
It can be a difficult color in general.
Yeah, yellow's usually fairly difficult. So this is our phosphofusion yellow.
Okay.
And I will pop this on and look. So if you look here, how quickly and how opaque that is.
Oh yeah.
Over
Wow.
that's just a black base.
Yeah.
Is that even, that's not even primed, is it?
No, that's
No.
not prime. That's just on a black base. That I just grabbed. So that's one
Yeah.
layer of
Yeah, a lot of
phosphofusion.
pigment. A lot of pigment to that.
Yeah, these are we use it uses a liquid pigment. So it doesn't it's not like your standard. I've learned quite a bit about paint. But you can see here close up. I'll do a close up of just how that's fluorescent yellow. And that's a true fluorescent. If you put a black light on that, it will
Blow
glow.
up. No, that's cool.
Oh yeah, 100%. Once it dries, I'll go get a black light and I'll actually show you
Nice.
how this how that glows up. But it's pretty amazing. So this line of paint here is the most opaque paints I've ever used in my life, which is standard, which is amazing because what I wanted was a opaque paint that you can put through an airbrush, and I wasn't sure if our paint developer could do something like that, and he did.
Nice.
So, but the cool part about Genesis, though, the really cool part about this is there's a lot of neat opportunities with it because of the chemical makeup of the paint. We have 2 mediums that we've put out for this paint. The first one is it's called a evolution medium, where if you add it to this, it actually turns the Genesis into a speed paint. How it does that is it actually works with the binders in the paint. I'm not a chemist, and so anyway, the pigment sinks down, right? Well, it stays up, so it turns it into gives it like a speed paint effect. And then the second one we have is a priming medium that you add to it, and it turns your paint into a rock hard primer that you can spray.
Nice.
Wow.
And we have 36, no, 16 colors, 32 colors, 32 colors right now. And so that means there's 32 different colors of primer you could use, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
And 32 colors of speed paint. And I mean, it's having a that's why I really like this paint line, is because it's really versatile. You can do a lot with it where, I mean, and don't get me wrong, speed paints are amazing. And I'm a big fan of Army Painter and their speed paints.
Yeah,
but
of course.
but having that, with that being said, right, having more versatility via mediums instead of having to buy a whole new paint set is something that's kind of neat.
That is pretty neat. I think it's also lets everybody know that there's a tool for everything, and this is just another tool. And there's obviously going to be some cool stuff that you can do. Like I love the idea of fluorescence on certain models, and now I feel like I'm going to be adding some to my toolbox soon.
They're and like, to be fair, I've chatted with Bo at length. So is Ryan, the guy who makes these paints. He's chatted with Bo. Like, we're all on good terms. It's kind of amazing because I'm very paint agnostic. I'll use whatever paint I need to use to get the job done. And I don't, when people come to me at booths and they're like, "Hey man, so why is your paint the best paint?" And I'm like, "It's not. There's no such thing as the best paint. It's the best paint for you, man." And that's
All right.
That's kind of my philosophy, right? Where, it's all personal preference. The best painter I know, he actually uses dollar store craft paints.
It's
And
crazy when you meet those people.
Yeah, and I've tried to convince him to use other paints, and he's like, "Nah, that's what I like." And I'm like, "Well, it's working for you. I mean, your paint jobs look awesome." So,
Right. That's wild. We got some more Metalhead Mini says I love cuttlefish paints.
She
And
does. That's Lynn.
Linsanity Lavender.
Yeah, that's hers. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. She's one of she's a big fan of cuttlefish, and
That's awesome.
she's done some great work. She teaches painting classes too, and she yeah, she teaches, and she's brought a lot of people into the fold by showing people just how versatile these paints are.
That's awesome. It's good to have good ambassadors, you know?
Yeah, well, it's
For
yeah. I
sure.
mean, that's part of it. Is community is really important to me.
Yeah.
You know, I personally believe that all of us, you know, game companies in general, we really have to work together. There's enough hobby dollars out there that there's no
Mhm.
need to, you know, really compete with each other hard in the industry, right? We
Agree.
make, you know, we make a lot more headway when we work together, right? And
Right.
people, because again, everything we do is all very subjective, right? Some
Mhm.
people like it, some people hate it, but you know, if you follow one company, you know, I'm not I'm not egotistical enough to think that everybody's going to love Cuttlefish Colors or
Mhm.
or our models, right?
Right.
You know, but if I can introduce one of those people to someone else in the industry and have them make a few bucks, I'd be more than happy to do that,
Of course.
right? So
Yeah. It's one of the great things about our space. Is it's everybody is really wanting just more people around the table painting.
that's it.
And the fact that we are all really open with any techniques that we
Mhm.
might know or use, that when someone says, "Ooh, how did you get that effect?" or "How did that?" I've never met anybody in this space that has been like, "Can't talk about it, can't tell you
Yeah.
about it."
Gatekeeper, right?
You know,
Great secret, buddy.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's, and I mean, I think we're all roughly the same age, and we all remember when we started painting and those wonderful White Dwarf painting guides, where
yeah, yes, but
Yeah.
I started with Tester's paint.
so did I. Yeah, I
Yep,
remember. I
the
remember.
worst.
Yeah,
Was it all
actually,
enamel?
All in
uh,
enamel. Yeah,
Yeah.
stank.
actually,
You could get buzzed off of it.
where are my? I have a bunch of testers right
Do you
within
really?
hand. Yeah, I actually use them for enamel washes.
Yep,
So,
makes sense.
but yeah,
Again, a tool for every job.
that's it.
You
You know
know,
what? It's funny when I crack open that bottle and I'm just like, oh, it smells like my childhood.
Yep.
right? And then I'm looking around to make sure my dad isn't coming in to like blame me for something. Right? Dang it!
It's amazing. We as children we painted these lead miniatures with flammable paints.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
amazing. We
good,
turned out as well as we did, man.
right?
I still remember my brother chewing on my lead models, and I'd be taking them away
Oh,
from him because he was younger than me, and he'd just stick them in his mouth, and I'm like, please stop chewing on my lead models.
oh my God!
Oh,
Terrible.
dude, it was a thing. It was a thing.
Right?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I have one bottle of testers that I keep around, and it's candy apple red.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, because everyone, I like to use them for like uh eyes and stuff because they just maintain that like a really nice like wet look
Yeah.
after they're done. And so I keep a little bottle of that for when I need to do it. Put those red eyes in dragons or something. But
Yeah. I mean, it's
I'll,
like you said.
that's it.
Yeah, every tool for a job, man. I mean,
Yep.
you know, enamel washes are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've used them. I've learned to really love oil and enamel washes recently. It's
All
kind of
right.
my go-to, which is, you know, and I mean, a lot of people I think once you get over the intimidation of doing it,
Yeah.
it works out. You know, it's really really great. Like the results are awesome.
Yeah.
Because I
Do
mean,
you varnish first before you put that down?
uh, I'll be honest, absolutely not. I'm lazy as hell. Be totally honest with you. You know, but so the thing is, cuttlefish colors have a hardening agent in them, so it makes they're very very durable. The like any they're not coming off with oil paints. Um, the only issue you might have is they're very matte, so they have a very they're like ultra matte paints. So
Mm.
you might get a bit of a rough edge on them if you want the paint to run a little better. But like if you're trying to do like pin washes and stuff with it. But
Yeah.
outside of that, um, outside of that, I mean, it's it works fine. Actually, I've been using oil washes over straight speed paints as well, and have had no issue.
Okay.
So I haven't felt it.
Do you use mineral spirits to help move it around?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I use Mona Lisa odorless mineral spirits. And no, they're not
Okay.
paying me for that. I just, but I felt the need to specify which ones I'm using. The odorless ones are kind of nice.
Yeah.
It's,
Whenever I use mineral spirits, no.
whenever I drink mineral spirits.
Right.
Plains a lot.
Yeah.
Plains a lot.
Yep.
Look at that. Addy Sands got a link for some cheap viewers if we want to increase our viewership here at Gen Con
snap.
TV. Thanks
Snap.
there.
That's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank goodness.
Actually, so speaking of Lynn, though, actually, and bringing it back to where this model comes from. So her husband is runs a Dungeons and Dragons game,
Okay.
and he's actually going to be running the World of Reclamation campaign alongside Kit from Game Envy. And
Oh, yeah,
I'm
I
not
love
sure if
Kit.
you guys do you guys
Oh,
know
yeah.
do you guys know Duff from Impending Duff?
I believe
Neil
I've met Duff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I-
Yes.
Yeah.
He's also in it.
Oh,
So
very
they're
nice.
And there's a few other people. I'm not. Nessie. So Nestor from Nessie Knows. I'm not sure if you guys know
Okay.
Nestor.
I do not know that one.
Who else is in there? There's a few of them, but anyway, they're going to run the campaign, and I'm going to be cataloging it and doing some ads for it coming up as well.
Nice.
Because
All
they're
right.
Zach is a fantastic guy. That's Lynn's husband,
Yeah.
and of course, I mean we all love Kit and Duff and Nessie.
Yeah.
They are great guys. So I think it should be an interesting thing to follow, and
Yeah.
I think it's kind of cool that they're actually going to be running this campaign and letting me know and kind of doing some live feedback as well.
Yeah, that's great.
So I think I can change
Yeah, Kit is and Game Envy is one of our sponsors.
Oh, is
You
he?
know, yeah, so like I got my dry palette here for my dry brushing. That's a Game Envy piece.
I got my
pop-up cup.
Yep. I'm with you.
You got that there. And
I'm with you.
And then-
And I got my Game
Your
Envy
scent.
wet palette right here.
Yep. And the Phalanx Synth Game Envy brushes. Yeah.
I got one here. I got one here too. So we're all kind of using the same materials.
good company.
Good on-
man.
Good on
Yeah.
Kit. Good on Kit. And I didn't even know we sponsored this thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, actually, he also made my Kit also made my custom made me my racks. I guess I can move this a
Nice.
little bit so you guys can see. He custom made these racks for me.
Oh,
For my,
nice.
Still get a close up on that guy.
Yeah.
There we go.
Whoa.
Nice rack.
Yeah, he made these racks for me. Oh, we have some company here. Oh, well, one second. Hey,
hello.
what's up, buddy? Do you want to say hi to everybody? You're live. What's up, buddy? Sorry, 1 second here.
Yeah, all good. All good.
What's that, honey?
Mute you real quick.
Okay. Good night.
Shows always happen around bedtime.
Exactly. I'm rocking a little plate mail metal from the Fanatics line here to do our unmute you there to get his beautiful sword. It's usually a good time too. We kind of go around the horn and
Oh yeah.
figure out what people are doing.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hobgobbling this guy. I got
Nice.
Still, yeah.
the base coat's going, but I did get his eyes. We talked about some glowing eyes.
Nice.
Um,
That's looking great. You guys
nice.
are
Yeah.
really plugging along here, eh? I'm
Yeah.
not
So
slacking
yeah, next we'll do some layers and some highlights.
Nice.
Yeah. What else? Who else is up? Will.
All right. Will,
we
let's see yours.
You get some light on there. Well, my backlighting isn't helping out too much, but
I love the pose. He's just like flying at you. But I like how he went red with them. He's kind of
yeah.
kind of a little devilly guy.
Yeah. He looks
Right
great. He looks like Hellboy. Come
He
jumping
does
at
have
you.
a Hellboy, baby Hellboy.
Right? Baby Hellboy.
What?
Yeah. And then here's my guy. He's is he not in the
Here we
Here
go.
it is.
all right. Yeah. So he's jumping around doing his thing there. I used some of the death metal metallics on the sword, and he's going with a little bit of a red cape there. Yeah, and he's got his glowing yellow eyes too, which I thought was interesting that you also had yellow eyes on yours. Ooh,
I like the yellow images. Yeah,
yeah, it just seems right, you
it
know?
did. It seemed
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. And then let's take a look at Taylor's.
All right, let's see where I'm at. I've been chatting. I haven't gotten as far as you guys have. So this is what.
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I saw
where's
what
the
you're
camera?
doing. Let's
There
see
we
here.
go.
What's up, Kim?
There we go.
Oh
We
yeah.
got-
Oh, I love the
coming
highlight.
along.
Yeah,
As
I
we're-
love the neon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gonna-
we're doing. I'm building up building up. So that's going to be the base coat, and then I'm building it up.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
I've been chatting away here. I've been focusing on painting.
It is one of the hazards of having a show concept like this, where instead of sitting here just going like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put this leather brown on the pants here. And then, you know what? The coverage is just going to go on there real smooth and everything. Yeah, we want to talk. We want to talk about what's going on in our lives, in the world. Not so much politics, religion, or any of that stuff, but definitely, the world of gaming.
Mhm.
For sure.
And that can be a little distracting when we're actually supposed to be painting,
Yes, just a little bit. Eh?
right?
There's
Just a little.
there's some passion out there in this
Oh, yeah.
industry. Yeah, it's kind of,
Oh yes, there is. There's a lot of passion.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great name for it.
Passion.
I'm glad we have so many passionate fans.
Right.
Speaking of
Absolutely.
things that we do have some cool images of. Why don't you bring it home? Let us know where are all these coming from? The images that you provided us.
So these are from our STL campaign, the World of Reclamation. It's that Dungeons and Dragons campaign I spoke about
Yeah.
at the start of the show. We're actually going to be doing a backer kit starting in October 1st. And what that's going to
Nice.
include is a 100-page campaign guide. First time ever seeing the actual Creature Caster lore and being able to adventure in the Creature Caster world called the World of Reclamation. It's pretty exciting stuff. Again, it's extremely grimdark, so viewer or reader discretion is advised for that. But I don't think you guys were expecting any less from Creature Caster.
Nope.
This backer kit will also include a Creature Caster compendium, which will include all of the creature encounters that you're going to have in the first campaign. It's going to include 12 adventures, each one of them written by myself. They are it's a survival horror type campaign setting, and
Okay.
it also includes 125 STLs. So all of the STLs that were from the first campaign, and they're priced, and the whole price of the package is $250.
Wow, that's really nice.
It's saving a metric ton of money from actually buying them on our online store on My Mini
Right.
Factory. So it's a
Okay.
great opportunity to catch up on the World of Reclamation. We're also going to have some really awesome stretch goals in there. There's going to be some really, 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 really big surprises if we get
Okay.
high enough. And I mean really big, being like you guys would never guess what's going to be coming down the pipe on that.
Well,
so-
when you say really big, like I think of like ginormous models.
Well, there's going to be that, but there's also going to be special guests
Oh, I
in there
see.
as well. So people we've worked with in the past that have
Mhm.
also contributed to the Creature Caster world.
Okay.
So we're we work with a bunch of other companies, and
Mhm.
we're really excited to offer get people excited about our new venture into the realm of role playing, because it's
Okay.
not I think it's something I think that the community has really wanted for a long time, and we've really been focused on the wargaming audience, and it's new, it's exciting, it's different, and
Yeah.
we get to build the lore, right? We don't have to
Yeah.
focus on the lore of other companies,
Right.
right? Or make it
Yeah, that's-
compatible with other companies.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
What
So that's
was so in that you've written these 12 different adventures or books and stuff in the Kickstarter here or your crowdfunding campaign. What is Dungeons and Dragons or that fantasy type of RPG setting kind of one of your passions?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been I've always role played, like had role playing
Mhm.
sessions and that sort of thing. I've been a GM most of the time, ever
Okay.
since high school. So it's been kind of one of those things. And I do, as I mentioned too, I do a lot of writing.
Hmm.
I used to write for a magazine called The Regular Magazine back in the day. I was a
Okay.
regular contributor to that, writing fantasy short stories and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's always kind of been of a passion of mine. And I think I've been doing this now. I've been writing these adventures for a year and a half, I think. And we've
Okay.
published, I, I'm just finishing the 8th adventure in the 2nd season. So that's actually our 20th adventure that we've published.
All right.
So,
Dang.
and they're all about 30 pages long. Now
Okay.
I focus a lot on the narrative,
Yeah.
more than like you guys, like when you're running a D&D game. I'm not sure if do you guys play D&D? Do you guys play
Since
Dungeons
It's
and
been a
19.
Dragons?
minute since I've been able to get that many folks at a table, but I do enjoy it quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've been
that's what
playing
I'm
it. 1982 was when I started.
right on. So
Yeah.
so you guys know how to run a game. I don't have to tell you how to run a game. What
Yeah.
typically GMs need help with is exposition and how to be immersive, right? And so
Yes.
that's what I really focus on the adventures, is giving you guys the tools you need to really get people involved in the adventure and make people feel like they're taking part in a novel, right?
Nice. Yep.
A horrible, 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 horrible novel
Scary
yeah,
novel.
that you are starring in a was it I did did I show you the ad that I did with the quotes from the people?
I don't believe so. No.
No way. I don't know how, actually, you know what? I can send it to you right now if you want to. One sec, give me a sec, because it
Okay.
is. I think it's one of my favorite ads that I've ever made, because I got to get people to give me quotes from these adventures
Nice.
and from people who've run the adventures. Let's see here.
Are they quotes from players in the middle of the adventure?
Yeah.
Or okay.
No, quotes from people who've played through the adventures.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Let's see here. I think it was in here. You have to bear with me. I'm just using my laptop and I don't use it that often. I put the ad in here.
So
Come on.
for the worlds that you're putting together, did you have a lot of world building you had done before, and now you're like
Yeah.
kind of jumping in on that?
Yeah, so I've done a lot of world buildings. I've also worked with other game companies before. And I have, I published my own game actually under Gangfight Gangfight Games is a company that I partially own with another gentleman, and we've done some ads in there. So, or done
Right.
some ads. We did a skirmish game a few years ago that we kickstarted, and this sorry, it's not loading up as fast as I wanted it to. The anyway, yeah. So I have quite a bit of world building experience. I mean, I did take some creative writing in university as well, so that was part of. And world building isn't necessarily the right word for it, but building like a world Bible, right? So it was part of some of the classes I took, how to
Okay.
keep things consistent and that sort of thing. So yeah, I guess I do have a bit of experience doing world building and that sort of thing.
Nice.
Definitely have experience now. I was able to pull up the World of Reclamation, kind of as you're talking through the Strange Wastes.
Yeah.
Kind of
Oh, that's cool.
here. Just as the book cover.
Yeah, that is a cover that is in the works, right? So
Okay.
bear with me on that one. That's not the final cover.
Still a
Is
draft.
it safe to show some of the other things?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I mean it's
Okay.
it's still in a rougher state. I'm finalizing some of the graphics, but yeah.
Oh yeah, but no, it looks good. I like the illustration style and kind of the ink wash style.
Thanks.
On a lot of this here, and you see your archetypes. Some fighter. Some of the different races there. You got humans.
That art style has a similar feel to the stuff that you guys have on the Creature Caster site. Is that the same artist?
Yeah, so our artist is Alex Boca. He's a concept artist for Larian Studios. He's been with us for I want to say 7 years. I want to say.
Wow.
And he's he is he's a phenomenal guy and a phenomenal artist. Actually, when you were talking about Novak Dawn, so Novak Dawn is actually a side project with him and another one of our sculptors named Tudor. And Tudor does the sculpting and he does the concept art for it. So
Okay.
the hunter's retinue, the Red Hoods, Red Riding Hood, the wolf, and the wolves are all part of his lore.
Okay.
And they actually have their own they all have their own tribe on My Mini Factory as well.
All right.
Then we got some. You had so many great photos. You can only upload. We got 100 as our max before we have to start deleting stuff and adding some more. But I'll pop some up if you want to talk through them.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are the goblins from the second adventure.
All right. So let's kind of run through these guys.
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah, they're
This guy.
yeah.
He's like
Mm.
yeah, coming for you.
there's one with a spear that's holding over the guy in the top left
Top
hand
one.
corner.
He looks great.
That guy's my favorite goblin. He's just, but you see the goblin with the big sword on his back? Yeah, so that's actually this same
Yeah.
goblin that we're painting.
Oh, okay.
He's
Oh, great.
He's all
Yeah.
jacked up on mushrooms.
Oh, he's got the hooks or the horns
Yeah.
on his back. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same model, just jacked up on mushrooms and bursting out of his armor. And
So that's a thing in your guys' campaign setting is
Yep.
these power up mushrooms.
kind of, yeah. The goblins they make use of fungus.
That's a
in the
goblin thing.
caves.
All right.
And they use it to kind of power up.
I like it.
That guy's the dealer. There's the chieftain. That's the same guy. So he's just
Yeah.
same guy. Just you can see the
Okay.
potion in his hand,
Yeah.
and that's the alchemist. He's the one that mixes all the potions up.
Oh,
So
nice.
good. So good.
Some people could use these for Git proxies and different things like that too, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean they're all on
That's fun.
32mm bases, so you can do what you got to do with them. I'm not going to send the Pinkertons after you.
Oh, whoa. Another shot fired, man. That's awesome. So good.
I know it's keeping it top of mind, topical. Passion.
So-
There's a lot of passion.
So
All right, what is
was-
this? This is.
Oh,
Oh, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead. We're still looking at the photos. Yeah.
That's Forcus.
That's
He's
sick.
one of my favorites. He is actually my daughter. My daughter Helix. She came in here earlier. That is
Yeah.
actually her favorite model of ours.
Nice.
Because he's got faces on his knees and a mouthful of snakes, and she thinks that's metal.
It is metal.
So
not
metal, in
wrong.
fact, that I actually made her a shirt for first day of grade 1, and it is the Forgus on the back of her shirt.
Nice. She gets
Yeah.
sent home from school.
Nope, I cleared it with the teacher. The teacher was like, "That's awesome," and I'm like, "All right, just so we're clear, this is how you're setting the tone for the year. Remember that."
Focus.
That's amazing.
It only
All
gets more metal from here.
Evil Reaver. You weren't kidding.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the Wasteland Reavers, and in that part, that's sort of around the end of the
Oh,
campaign
that's
where
sick.
they've been corrupted by the sleeping or the slumbering king, and he's
That's some Iron Maiden right there. You know, it's like run
Yeah.
for the sea. You know, it's like
Our stuff
really-
is pretty metal. Like I will say, like a lot of our influence comes from that kind of stuff.
Oh,
All
that's
right.
great. That's fun.
Some
Keeping it
Dragon
alive.
Force. No, I'm just-
Dragon Force. I remember Dragon Force. Guitar Hero was awesome.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
so cool.
one of the scavengers that's fall under the sway of the slumbering king.
As they do. As they
Nice.
do.
Yep,
The-
as they do. Yeah.
There's a Grim Father.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
that's
love
Grimfather.
that.
He was a special request of mine because I wanted a boss priest.
What the heck?
So he's
This guy looks like
Grimfather
he's
Galdrick.
This guy looks like he's straight out of freaking like Shang-Chi's Legend of the Five Rings. Look at that. That dude is sick.
Halloween costume for you, Rick. There you
Yeah. I mean, they've already captured my likeness really well with
Mhm.
this one. I'm in the bulk phase right now, though. So
All right. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Evil
The only
Assassin.
thing is you're not normally a scimitar guy.
also that. Yeah.
You got, that's the main reason, right?
Yeah.
The scimitar. Yeah.
This Evil Assassin.
Yeah, she's same thing. She's part of the minions of the slumbering king.
Okay.
She's sick.
Yeah,
Is that
one
a
of the bears.
render or is it the model?
These are all renders. So
Okay.
these, just because there's so much variety with the way, like what printers people are using and all that sort of stuff, it's very hard to provide like a show what model you're getting, right? We prefer just to kind of show the renders and
Mhm.
of what it could look like. And but I
Best
mean,
case.
unlike some other, our models are detailed. Like they will come out very similar to what you're seeing.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, you said these goblins that you sent us were upscaled 15%, and I like
Yeah.
when we got them, I marveled at the detail in the teeth, just how tiny they were, and knowing that it could get smaller blew my mind.
Yeah, it's usually. I mean, it's amazing what they can do nowadays with 3D printers. What you can. It's absolutely amazing what you can do. The and I'll show. I know I showed you guys earlier, but this is an upscaled 72 millimeter priest. Let's see here. Where's the camera? God, I'm bad at this. The let's
Your
see
other
this
left.
way.
Your
There
other
we go.
Oh yeah.
So this is 72 millimeters. So you can see how he's scaled up, and this is beside the goblin. So just in terms of how big he is, but all of the detail, you can see the detail on his face where it's
Yeah.
he's wearing
Shrouded a little bit.
he's wearing the shroud over his face. The scars all show up, all the muscle, all the definition on his muscle. It's all here we go.
Yeah,
not sure
if
if
you
I
had
can join
painted it, I wouldn't have known that you weren't holding Rick right now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
The
It's
muscle
ridiculous,
on
right? It's ridiculous.
him. The muscle on him.
There was a time.
You were, just for the viewers that know, Rick, you were like a power lifter, right?
I was, yeah,
Oh, really? Eh?
yeah,
It's,
many years ago.
That is definitely that is hard on your body, my friend.
Yes,
I have a friend who was a power lifter, and 2 knees later.
right?
I still remember when I first met him in university. It was our first, and he's like, "Want to watch me do 1,600 pounds with my legs?" And I'm like, "No, I don't." I'm like, "That's not healthy, man.
Right?
you're gonna really hurt yourself." He's like, "I'll worry about it later," and he did.
Yeah,
He
and
did.
we do. It's
Yeah.
facts. No, I was.
Excellent.
I, however, wasn't like super competitive. I was only military competitive in that I was
Okay.
in the armed services, and I
Okay.
did a lot of powerlifting while I was on active duty. But I was squatting 900 pounds and
Wow.
deadlifting 800 pounds and benching stupid amount of weight, and and my body is, now that I'm 52, telling me you shouldn't have done that, you fool. But that's okay.
Right?
That's how it
So,
works. That's
yeah.
Sometimes you gotta take the good, you gotta take the bad, you mix it all together, and there you have,
yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And also Rick said duty.
Duty.
And
Yeah.
yeah, if you're at Hogwarts, they would have, and demoted 10 points for saying duty. But because
that's
you
just
say
my life.
everybody, now you gain 20 points somehow.
Thank you. So besides just doing the creature caster and all the wonderful things you guys do there, what are some games that you find yourself gravitating towards these days?
I will say I really like one-page rules. I'm not sure if you
Okay.
guys have ever tried playing. Have you guys played any one-page rules before?
I have not.
I've heard
It
good
is-
things about them.
It is fantastic, and I was super skeptical of the game at first because it's very simple looking, but
Okay.
there's a lot of depth there. It is a very solid game. We've been playing the Grimdark Future, which is the
Okay.
sci-fi one, because I have all these 40K models. I don't really play 40K anymore, so that was kind of the reason for that. And I teach I teach a painting class at my local game store. That's who
Nice.
Dorcosaurus. She's one of my students.
Okay.
And I teach a painting class there once a month. And part of the agreement is I originally started doing it to help them get on their feet after COVID,
Okay.
and it just kind of kept on going. But I get paid in store credit
Nice.
All right.
when I do these classes.
Everybody's dream.
Yeah, I mean, it's it was good until you have enough store credit to potentially buy a partnership in the store, but one of those things.
Right.
But yeah, so with one-page rules, I'm able to use that store credit by buying models, and so that's what
Nice.
I do, and it's
All right.
it's a lot of fun. Another game I'm playing, I found myself getting back into is the Old World.
Okay.
Games Workshop's or
Yeah.
Warhammer Fantasy.
Back in the
Just
fold.
like I said, I played it for 30 years, and
Yeah.
I will give Games Workshop credit where it's due, and they did a fantastic job restoring that game.
Nice.
It,
Okay.
it really comes from a. I feel that game comes from a place of love. Whoever
Okay.
did the writing on it, and kudos to them for bringing me back because I was definitely not interested.
Nice.
And then I'm also staring longingly at the Lord of the Rings models that I have. I have never played. I've never played the game,
Okay.
but I saw the recent Angmar expansion,
Yep.
and I'm not gonna lie, they have some hill trolls in there, and I am a sucker for a good hill troll.
Okay.
I
I
am.
bought this with hopes to do something. So
Which one's that? That's the. Is that the ring wraiths?
no, this is just the fellowship.
Oh, the Fellowship. Wow. I mean,
Yeah, just to get going. But I haven't
well,
purchased anything else yet.
well, maybe Gen Con next year. I'll bring my Lord of the Rings, and we can play a game of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we'll have to do that.
Ooh,
That'd be fun.
nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to turn these things into like these events that I go to. I'm trying to turn them into have a little bit more fun because right now they're all work, work, work all the time.
Right.
So if I can, get away and play a game and stuff, that would be I think that would be pretty cool, right? Especially with people that I don't get
Yeah.
to play with on a regular basis.
Yeah,
And
that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
next year I've decided I'm only going to. I'm at this point. I may go to 3 events, but I'm only going to 2 events: Adepticon and Gen Con.
Mhm.
That's scheduled,
Okay.
and I am driving. So that means
Ooh.
I get to bring my stuff with me. More importantly, I get to bring my pillow with me. Because as I get older, I'm learning that hotel pillows are the worst things in the world, and I don't know why.
Facts. Facts. Facts.
It's
Facts.
just never comfortable. And it was funny.
What the hell?
My friend Robbie, I went with him. I drove with him to Adepticon last year, and we were packing.
Mhm.
Like, he came pick me up and said, "Oh, one second." I ran back in and I grabbed my pillow, and he started laughing at me. He's a young guy, and he was laughing at me, and he's like, "What are you
Mhm.
doing?" And I said, "I'm bringing a pillow." And he goes, "There's pillows at the hotel." And I said, "Oh, Robbie, you wait till you get to the hotel." And then we're driving back.
Sweet
We
summer
drive.
child.
We're driving back, and Robbie's like, "Man, everything you said was true." He's like, "I can't believe
Yep.
it." He's like, "Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
So, speaking of doing something at a show like Adepticon or Gen Con next year,
yeah,
um, so we have a friendship with the guys over at Steamforged
yeah.
Games,
Right on."
and Matt Hart, one of the founders and owners, is
Mhm,
a exceptional painter. And
mhm.
I was just this past week at the Alliance Open House for the distribution company,
Yeah,
and he was there, and he challenged me to a speed paint competition.
nice.
No, he will be done in 15 minutes, and it'll look like a freaking Golden Demon Award winning model. So maybe I'm thinking is I can mitigate my embarrassment by bringing some of the folks from the shows that we're doing this season to that same stage, and we all
Okay.
speed paint together.
I'm in. I
All
will do
right,
it. You
all
have my
right.
word. That's at Adepticon.
We could do it. I think there will be at Adepticon. Yeah,
Yeah,
so because we're going
they
to
were
be
across from me at Gen Con, so
okay.
yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Do we
Yeah,
get to paint? Do we get to paint some of those sweet?
New War
Those
Machine.
sweet. No, Guild Ball. I'm a big Guild Ball fan. I used to love Guild Ball.
Oh, okay.
That game was amazing.
Well, we'll find out. I can talk
Yeah,
to Matt and find out what they want to throw up as a model
yeah, I'd be more than
for.
happy to. I'm a big fan. Guild Ball. I didn't get to play it enough when it was
Hmm.
popular, but it was one of those games that I always really enjoyed when I played it.
Well, they had such interesting character groupings, right? You had the
Yeah,
my favorite one was the Brewers.
that's fair. I liked the butchers.
Oh, also cool.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was that guy, the guy that doesn't play the game, just attacks them all. Attacks their opponents.
Yes. So
It was
good.
it was a good time. I really enjoyed that game. It was I mean,
Nice.
I'm not a competitive gamer though. It's I understand that game got very competitive.
Hmm.
I would be remiss to we have our own game, Judgment Eternal Champions. I'm not sure if you guys have heard of it.
No, please
It's
tell
our
us.
it is our tabletop. It's our flagship tabletop skirmish game, and it is a 3-on-3 or 5v5. So it's a very small, low model count.
Okay.
Um, and the whole premise is that you have effigies, which are the physical representation of the gods, and they consume souls, and you have to grab souls by either killing your
What?
opponents or picking them up off the board and feeding your
Okay.
effigy.
Okay.
So that's the crux of it. So, but we have some awesome creature caster models that are, and we put out a new model every month,
Okay.
and yeah, it's a real good time.
All right. That sounds pretty cool. I will
Yeah.
say this: next year, because my store that we're at right now is called Hoplite Games. So
Okay,
obviously
I didn't know
we
you
have
realized it. I didn't realize you guys own that, or you own that store. Okay.
yeah, yep. So we were right down the street from Michigan State University, which is a very Spartan themed uh, area.
Yeah.
So you guys have that tall Spartan esque.
Oh, the Titan of body.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna get one of those. I'm gonna paint it up, and we're gonna put it
Cool.
in as a store display piece to kind of be like, yep,
Nice.
this is where all citizen gamers come to play.
Well, I will tell you what you can do is you can actually reach out to me and I will get you one. And we can chat.
What?
As long as you paint it up, I'm happy with that.
Oh, we'll definitely paint it up.
Yeah, but yeah, just talk to me after the show and I'll
Cool.
see what I
Yeah,
can do
for
about.
sure.
See
Cool.
what I can do.
Yeah, I
Sounds
got
like
your.
a great idea. Well, there we go.
I
There's
got
Judgment.
Champions as well. Finally got that up for you.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's our that is our flagship skirmish game.
nice.
So, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very different theme than you'd expect from Creature Caster. It's not the grimdark horror that Creature Caster has fed you before. It is a little more lighthearted, but still has some pretty awesome Creature Caster models in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it looks
Oh,
great.
look at that. Oh, what's that one with the wings right there? The two effigy miniatures.
Yeah, so
What
those
was
are the
that?
effigies I was talking about. Those are the representation of the gods.
Oh,
So a core box is I think it's 125 American,
okay.
and that's
So
which is pretty reasonable.
600 Canada.
Yeah, 600 Canadian. Thereabouts.
There
Their
are boots.
boots.
There are boots.
And there's, it comes with all the heroes, everything you need to play the game in one box.
Okay.
So it's not
Nice.
it's pretty great. It's it's a really good value for what you're getting in there. And then there's always expansions that come out with a new hero every month, which is great.
Yeah.
People seem to really like the fact that it's coming up with a new hero.
That's cool.
And we're planning on it's growing. The game itself is growing. We're getting more and more community involvement. And yeah, people
I
seem
think
to be
that
trying it.
sound is Mark's grabbing some screenshots for you.
Oh, that's what that is. I'm like, what is that?
What's going on?
Mark's working here.
That's all right. So Mark's a busy bee taking those screenshots. So
Yes.
So a lot of the skirmish, I've played a fair number of skirmish games, and it's usually like a lot of terrain or none. So
yeah,
where's that one land at?
It is it's pretty has a fair amount of terrain on it on the board.
Okay.
The good news is all the terrain comes as 2D pack in the box, so it's very easy to get into the game. Of course, I mean, if you're hardcore into these things, it comes with PVC models. The PVC models are okay, but if you're a painter, I mean, you're going to want to expand to the resin models pretty fast, just because they're, PVC is great, but they're game pieces, right? So, and I mean, same with terrain, right? You're going to want to build your terrain, but I mean, even if you have the cardboard base terrain in the box, you can, because it's played on 45 millimeter hexes.
Okay.
So it's there's a certain shape that terrain has that you can that you can build. It's kind of nice that way, right? We also have 3D terrain available in STL format on our My Manufactory page. Okay. So it's the mushroom. I can't remember what it's called. The Nether Marsh, I think we called it, and it's all the terrain in one package that you can 3D print.
Nice. Oh, there's a puppy in the store.
Oh, that happens too.
We
got kids, we got puppies, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yeah.
I was surprised my daughter came down here. She's really shy, and she knew.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, I guess she's having. I think she's fighting hand, foot, and mouth disease.
Oh God.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know. It happens every friggin' year at the schools.
Yeah, I had a buddy that caught it from his kid,
Trees.
and
It's a thing. It's a thing. I think my wife's getting it too. And it's so gross. For some reason,
no.
I'm immune to it, so I just get to watch. I just get to watch in horror as this happens to my wife and my child every year.
Oh,
So I had to. Actually, what was it? We were explaining. I had to explain tapeworms to my daughter at dinner
Oh,
because she thought someone told her about tapeworms at school, and I had to explain to her that she's not getting a tapeworm
until she gets a tapeworm.
until she gets a tapeworm. And,
Like, as a pet?
don't eat
or-
the raw pork, right?
Yeah. Well, I was telling my wife though, she didn't know I had a friend growing up, and he went to Mexico, him and his sister, and
Yeah.
they came back and he had like a 13-foot tapeworm in his stomach.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that
That's a
was bad.
diet plan right there, right?
Well, and you guys, you guys are the right age to remember this. I mean, I don't know if you actually remember this, but so now when you have tapeworms, they just give you a pill and it takes care
yeah,
of the tapeworm. Right?
anti-parasitic. Yeah,
Yeah. Back then, I don't believe that was the way to take care of tapeworms.
it was not.
The upside
Nope,
down method?
Yep.
Catch
Where
with
they
a piece
put
of
some.
meat.
Yep. And I remember his name was, what was his name? Carl. Carl was telling me they had a machine, and so like it was like almost like a fishing reel, and they'd put
Mhm.
the worm in there, and then they'd slowly reel it, and it would slowly come out.
Mhm.
This is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard.
Oh,
I
I'm
knew
just
this
like,
was good, but it's
my wife, she's just like, Jesus Christ, what are you telling our daughter? I'm like, I'm going to go do on this show. You talk to me later.
that was tonight you did this?
That was tonight. It's just before the show. Yeah.
Nice.
That's how we roll around here in Canada.
Heck yeah. So up there in Canada, you guys have some interesting phrases, and I need to get some clarity on a couple of them.
Sure, no
if-
problem.
So if I go yeah no or no yeah, what do
Yeah.
those mean?
So yeah, no means means no, right?
Okay.
No, yeah, that means yeah, right? Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And then I'll let you know a secret too. There's a phrase in the southern states. It's called "bless your heart."
Yeah.
I learned that is not a nice thing to say to somebody, right?
It
And I
means the
learned that.
opposite.
So I learned that when I was at ReaperCon, and there was a toad, and I saw like it was a big toad, and it was hopping along, and I went to go pick it up, and Cody, he's the guy who did the 3D printing. He goes, "Oh, Taylor," goes, "don't you pick that up? That's gonna piss all over your hand." And I picked it up and went, it pissed on me. And he goes, "God damn it, Taylor, get in the car. Bless your heart." And that's when I found out that it wasn't the nicest thing to say to someone.
It is not.
So-
It is not. But that's
Yeah.
what a great way to find out over a toad.
but the thing is, so the thing too is, people always think when Canadians say sorry that we actually mean it, and we don't. It's actually
What?
the same as saying "bless your heart." Yeah, yeah. So every time a
All-
Canadian says sorry to you, it may not be the nicest thing they're saying. You're like, "Oh man, those guys are so polite," but they're not. They're saying something.
Ooh.
Got
I
a
am
different
now-
meaning to it.
The glass wall has shattered.
We're a cruel people. We're cruel.
But you don't lock your doors, apparently.
Yeah, but we don't lock our doors. Actually, my daughter said that to me the other day. She was afraid of robbers last night, and she's
Oh.
like, and I said, "Well, I lock the door when I go to bed. You don't have to worry about it." And she goes, "But you don't lock the door when you're home all day." And I said, "No, I don't."
Oh, Lord.
She was pretty concerned.
Just give the robbers tapeworms.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Give them
right.
tapeworms. I mean, I have two 30-pound Maine Coons in my house, so I'm not super concerned about robbers.
30-pound Maine Coons. Are they like attack Maine Coons or?
They're 30-pound cats. I mean, I don't know what
Yeah.
they'll do. They're pretty big. Most people get pretty nervous when they see them.
Nice. I
So-
would just get like, I would be like, why am I not being cuddled by these Maine Coons?
They're super cuddly.
Nice.
It's a real problem. They're not.
And that could be the thing that towards any robber.
Yeah.
Like, wait, I can't rob these places. They have these beautiful cats.
I was talking to Peter.
I love these cats.
Peter's the CEO of the company,
Yeah.
and he has to do some work for me. If he's watching this, Peter, stop watching this and go do that writing I need you to do. Anyway, but what was it? I said, "Listen," I'm like, he goes, "Well, I goes, I'll get it done to you next Monday." And I said, "Okay." And if not,
All
what
right.
I'm doing is I'm flying down to Kelowna because they live in Kelowna, BC. I said, "I'm
Mm.
going to fly down to Kelowna and I'm going to pay you a visit while you're sleeping." And he goes, are you serious? He goes, you wouldn't go in my house. He goes, my dog would tear you apart. And he has Pomeranians. I'm like, dude, your dogs are 1.5 pounds, man. That's how I found out he actually has like a 70-pound lab in his house too. But
Again, a lab is just going to lick you to death.
that's true. They're not dangerous dogs.
No.
Bring a tennis ball.
No,
Yeah,
not
bring
like.
a tennis ball.
Have you ever heard of a cane corso?
Yes, and I will not want to mess with that.
So I'll tell you a story about a cane corso. I have a vet that's right by my house, and I go there. I get my one Maine Coon. He's got anxiety, so every once in a while, when there's like doing construction, we have to give him some medication to calm him down. Otherwise, he just freaks out. So I went to the vet, and I'm pretty close with them. And said, "Well, we're not open after you drop off your kid, but swing by. Someone's there. I'll put the medication out for you. Just grab it." And I said, "Cool, no problem." So I went to the vet. I walked into the veterinary clinic, and the lights are off, right? And I'm like, the lights are off, and I'm like, hello. And all of a sudden I hear the clacking of these claws. And I'm like, and from behind the counter, this dog comes out. And I'm not sure if the audience knows this, but I'm 5.5 feet tall. I am not a big dude. All right. And this dog that comes up to my shoulder walks out from behind the counter. It's a black dog with yellow eyes, and it's just in the shadows, just staring at me. It's not making any moves. And I am slowly backing away like this from the door. I'm like,
nope.
Yeah. And that's how I learned what a cane corso was. Turns out the dog is actually really, really friendly. But
yeah. That's also when you learn that, you are mortal.
I am mortal. Yeah. Very, very, very incredibly mortal. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So that was yeah, cane corsos they're a dog, I'll tell you. They're a big, big, big dog.
Dorkasaurus says when they say sorry, they do mean it. Sometimes.
Tell her she's lying. She's saying that to save Canadian face. Don't believe a word Annie says.
Oh, okay.
I've never once said sorry and meant it to an American.
Whoa.
Oh man, you've opened my eyes to a new world of players.
Wow.
Yep.
That's amazing.
And he's right. There are stories that you can say that are very that you can sometimes mean it, but it's hard to discern. So if I bump into you, right, and I say sorry, I probably mean it. If you bump into me and I say sorry, I probably don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In Michigan, our sorry to that kind of situation is sorry. Like we're startled.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's different tones. There's sometimes we say sorry, but a lot of the time we don't really mean it that much.
Sure, that makes sense. But you guys you all know everybody there, right? All Canadians know all other Canadians.
Name a Canadian you know.
Jason Acevedo.
Absolutely. Great guy. Fantastic. I love it. I love his hair.
Right. I make comment about his hair all the time when he does the live
hair.
Streams. Yeah, it's like
beautiful hair.
How do you have that hair like that? It's ridiculous.
We need to know what hair products he's using.
I think he sold his soul to somebody. Maybe. But yeah, that's crazy. How about Ken Lashley?
Absolutely. Ken, great guy. He owes me $20 though.
I don't know about that.
What's the part?
Well, I think
he owes me $20.
So it's funny so Ken Lashley is a Marvel and DC comic book artist. He lives in Toronto. Okay. He did like X-Men Gold and Batman for many issues, and still does a lot of like Star Wars stuff too. And Jason Acevedo is Realm Smith TV.
Okay.
Out of relatively the same area as well, and he's done that. What is it? Purple Worm Kill Run thing or whatever.
Oh
it is.
yeah, that's with Buddy there, Shaggy.
Matt Lillard.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he does have amazing hair, and I've actually
does
said
he?
that about him on his streams. Like,
It's just
it's like,
nothing.
this
He sounds
guy.
like a dude who has nice hair.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
And
But yeah, it's
that's hilarious.
to be fair though, it's actually not as big of a country as people like. There's only 38,000 or 38 million people up here, right?
Oh
So
yeah, yeah,
it's I mean, well, compared to the States, which is 380 million, I think.
yeah, something
Right.
like
So
that. Silly numbers.
you know, so it's actually not that uncommon. I'll tell you a story. Actually, once when I was flying to LVO, my first
Mm.
time,
Okay.
I was sitting beside a lady, and we started talking, and we both kind of remarked that our voices sound familiar, and it actually turned out that she'd been a client of mine for 7 years when I worked for the mining company. Or for
Oh
the,
my God,
yeah, she
that's
worked for
crazy.
she worked for the ministry, and she was a client of mine. So it's like we say it's not likely you're gonna meet someone that you know, but
What?
it's a small enough country that it's quite possible.
That's wild.
Yeah, we were both shocked when we found out we'd known each other for 7 years.
That is crazy. So, are you guys with the you talked earlier about the live stream content or the uh live play content you're going to make around your RPG system?
I don't
Are
know
you
if it's
going to be?
going to be. I don't think it's going to be a live play. I'm not sure how
Oh,
comfortable
okay,
they are with that. I'm just
okay.
going to run like basically chronicle their adventures and put some
Oh,
ads around it just to benefit
okay.
Kit and Duff,
Yeah,
and
okay.
just have some fun with it and show people like actual people playing it. I still
Yeah,
need to
okay.
find that ad for you with the quotes. A second, I just realized I never got around to doing that. Give me 2 seconds here. I can find that on. I sent the backer kit. Actually, should probably put this information up too.
Well, we were actually going to go right to a bunch of that here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
We went because we definitely want to make sure that everybody watching and who will watch us in the future knows where to find all the awesome stuff you guys have going on. But we got about 10 minutes left
Okay.
ish. So let's do one more pass around everybody's miniature and see how far we've all gotten tonight.
Okay. Let's do that. Do me last while I grab this
Yeah.
link for you.
All right, let's go with Mark. Why don't you just start it off, Mark?
I was going to try to cheat for one more thing. All right, here we go.
Ah,
Pencils down.
'Kay.
Eating still. This is like I'm taking the SAT here. What? Pencils down. Okay. All right. Still doing it. Still doing it. All right. All right.
Boom.
Nice.
I was gonna do a little specs on the. I'm thinking they're mushrooms, not satchels, on his like little purse strings there.
Nice.
So, yeah.
yeah,
I like it.
very cool. That cloak looks amazing.
Thanks. The old cloak and dagger here.
Heck yeah. All right, Will.
Oh.
Are we doing the same thing? Are we doing the
Do
I
same?
this.
was. Now I'm
I
done.
believe in you.
I'll leave it to you.
I was like, where did your? Do you have an extra hand over there?
Looking good.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yellow red, little Hellboy.
It's amazing. It's coming for you.
Yeah.
It's
Love
sick.
this guy.
Yeah. All right. Killer. All right, here's mine.
Oh yeah,
Looking good.
the old evil. He's giving the old stink eye. Yeah.
Always with the stink eye. And yeah.
Yeah. Love the red on it.
Yeah.
Nice.
When I saw your
Awesome.
red cloak, I was like, did I make the right choice with orange? You know.
You did. You absolutely made the right choice. I even got some little like markings on the skulls on the base
That
there.
looks awesome, dude.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. Those are sick. All right, Taylor, let's see it.
So this is oh god, I'm so bad with this camera. Here, I'm gonna do it up to we'll do it with the camera here. Here we go. So
yeah.
there we go. Whoa, stretch.
I was
I
doing
can
that
do
same
this.
thing.
I can do this. There we go.
Oh, sick.
Oh yeah, looking
There we go.
great.
So we got
Heck yeah.
got his
Mhm.
eyes going, and yep. I think it's
Yeah.
pretty much. I'm gonna pretty much call this done, but
Yeah,
gotta
it
do
looks
some
amazing.
blending, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mess around with washes much?
yeah, I mainly paint with all washes, like
Okay.
consistency. So usually I'm
Mhm.
using very, very, very thin coats. We have this
Nice.
we have this fantastic medium that you're going to want to invest in. It's called Merlin's Magic Medium, right here.
Okay.
Oh.
I should put here. Here we go. We'll do it here. If I can get this camera angle right. So it's this is a retardant, a hardening agent, and a thinner all in one. But I use it to mix and I mean anyone, if Annie's still in the chat, she'll rave about this stuff. But
Okay.
most people who know about the stuff, they swear off every other medium. This is what they use. It's an acrylic binder that we use in our cuttlefish colors, and you just mix it with any paint. It doesn't matter what paint you
Nice.
use, and it does magic. And it's a matte medium. That's what it is. So you
Oh,
can also
wow.
spray this over a model as the final coat, and it'll make everything ultra matte.
All right.
Now you said it was a retarder. Can you use it to help with wet blending?
Yep,
Neat.
that's exactly what it's used for. So it's a retarder. It's a hardening. So when it gets hard, it has like a hardening agent in it, so it'll make it really hard to scrub off, and and it makes it matte as well.
Nice.
Makes it mad.
Yeah, sick. All right.
That's
So,
good for you.
because we're getting down to that time, Taylor, where can we find and where can the audience find all things Creature Caster and all the wonderful projects you have going on?
So we have creaturecaster.com, which is our website. We also have our tribe, which is on My Mini Factory. It's a convoluted website, but if you search in Creature Caster on My Mini Factory, you'll find us. I also threw a link up there in our studio chat for our backer kit. That's a call to action. If anyone's watching and they want to help us out, it would be great if you click the follow button and just follow it along with the campaign. Helps us out a lot getting out to more people. And we also have a Discord, which can be found on Discord. It's Creature Caster. I think it's just called Creature Caster. It's not.
All right.
I don't think it has any special name on Discord.
Okay.
I'm just
Cool.
double checking. But that's what we got. And if you want to open up the backer kit, there's that ad I wanted to show you that had the quotes of people who played through the campaigns.
Okay.
Let me grab that real quick.
Yeah. But
And
you'll
while
see,
he's grabbing that, what can you tell us, like, where people might be able to find you guys in the near future at any events?
we're going to be definitely at LV or Warfare Weekend. We're going to be there. Simon and Ryan are going to be there.
Okay.
The Las Vegas Open in Las Vegas, we're
Mhm.
going to be there as well. I won't be. I'm going to be at Adepticon, and then there's a few other potential events we might go to. We're looking possibly at GameCon in Canada in
Oh,
Edmonton.
nice. Yeah.
So I was there. I've been there for the past 2 years. It's been a really great show. I'm actually friends with the owners of the event, Mark and Chris,
Yeah.
and they're great guys. Not entirely sure what capacity we're going to be there. I'm actually thinking of running Dungeons and Dragons adventures there,
Nice.
in the World of Reclamation, and having a judgment tournament. So instead of
All
just
right.
doing our traditional booth,
Yeah.
and that's and then of course we'll be at Gen Con,
Okay.
because that's the biggest one.
It
Yeah.
is Gen Con. Let me see if I can get these up.
Sure.
All right. Very cool. Well, that's a lot of stuff going on with you guys. And I know we'll see you at Adepticon and at Gen Con for sure.
Yeah.
Some of those other ones I don't know if I'll be there. Oh,
Is
there we
this
go.
the one you're looking
There's the
for?
one. There we go with the quotes.
They killed his wife. They drove him mad. They killed Jesus.
It's
All
pretty
hell-
dark. It's pretty dark. I'll give it to
The
you.
last of the true kings. Wow. Just wow.
Reads
Robbie
like a novel,
Emerson.
plays like a nightmare.
My players can't get some of these images out of their head. These adventures read like a novel. Damn it, you just said that. Why you like this, Will? Says
Why
Laura.
am I?
Well, so
Why am I-
so there's a story behind that one. Laura's my wife, and
Yeah.
I needed a small quote to fit in between the other quotes when I was doing the design. And so I called her, and her boss said, the director said she's in a meeting, and I said, "Can you pull her out? It's an emergency." And so my wife grabs the phone and she goes, "What's wrong?" And I said, "I need a quote for my Dungeons and Dragons adventure, and I figure you can give me something short." And she said, "Why are you like this?" And I said, "Perfect." And I hung up the phone, and that's how it ended up.
That-
That is amazing. That is amazing. Very cool. Well, Taylor, we appreciate you coming out. That our show. This is we are at our time.
Sure.
And we appreciate you. We probably should do this one last thing. For
give
everybody
some quick
watching,
love.
big shout out to all of our sponsors here at Path of the Brush, Gen Con TV, Tabletop Gurus, the Army Painter, our paint partner for all things we do, and also to Game Envy, who provided us, the brushes, the dry board here, and our fun little collapsible paint cups, Kit and all those folks over there, and to you, the viewers. We appreciate everybody that was in the chat today. Thank you so much for participating. And if you haven't done so, please go hit that heart, hit that bell, follow Gen Con TV. There's a lot of amazing other content creators on the channel that may be making some content that will appease whatever itch you might have in the hobby. And you can look at a schedule of events and programming just below us here. If you scroll up a little bit, there's a lot of great things going on. So make sure you hit that heart, hit that bell, and if you have the capacity, go ahead and just subscribe, because every little bit does help towards bringing you amazing content here on Gen Con TV. Taylor, again, thank you so much. Thank you to Creaturecaster for coming on and allowing you to come on, because I'm sure they're probably like, he's crazy.
Yeah, they're always a little leery about putting me out in front of the public. They never really know what's going to come out of my mouth. So,
Did well.
You were an amazing guest. Yeah, you did a
So-
great job. Amazing guest. And thank you so much for just hanging out. That's what we do. And we look forward to seeing everybody's miniatures that you're painting, works in progress and completed. You can join our Discord here at Hoplite Games. We have an amazing sub channel all about miniature painting, and we'd like to see what you're doing. But until next time, I'm Rick.
I'm Mark.
I will.
Taylor?
That's
He was. That's right. we never prep anybody for that. And we'll see you at your friendly local game stores.
Have a great one.